Well, I trained as a dancer in many forms of dance, many styles, and while I was training, 4 of us set up a dance group, and nobody would choreograph it, so I did. So it was sort of by default, really. And then when I finished training, about a year afterwards, I had started to have severe problems with my back. And although I continued to dance, I was a bit of a liability. And so I thought, okay, I want to stay in the business. So I started to put my fingers out, my feelers out, and see what I could do choreographically.
Well, I like Fran, started life as a dancer, and I was a singer, and I was fortunate enough to be cast in a film that Fran did in 2003, 15 years ago, called The Lovely. So we got to know each other in that, and just slowly over time I was fortunate enough to be able to start working with Fran, and opportunities presented themselves, and a new life as a choreographer has emerged.
There is a way of telling a story in movement that works really well on film, because so much of it is about images. You don't always need words to get across a narrative.
A lot of what we do ensures the integrity of scenes and setups, because we do such a broad range of things. But very often if you don't have a choreographer or a movement person involved, you will miss opportunities to make things absolutely real.
To go from the beginning, you meet the director, you find out what the director is looking for, you read the script, and you pick out the bits. Some are obvious, the dance scenes, but there may be more movement-based stuff. And then the next step would be working with the actors, rehearsing with the actors and the dancers if there are dancers. We rehearse it, we get something together, and then the director comes into the room, sometimes on his own or her own, or sometimes with the DOP, and they look at it, and then we discuss it and maybe change things, and then we shoot it. Well, a dancer has the vocabulary, a dancer has dance in their body, that's what they've trained for. So it's much faster if you choreograph with a dancer.
And in terms of the approach, a dancer is obviously, it's their business movement, and taking on choreography, there's that second nature to them. With an actor, you may very often be working with somebody who's never had to do anything dance related before, or it's been ages since they've done something. So the approach to the work with them often needs to be very different.
For me, music comes first. It's always the music. I listen to the music over and over and over again, and just visualize things in my head, and then try things out just on myself, and then maybe with Dale, and then we bring dancers in and try
You see
try
how
stuff
it
out.
feels. You have a sort of a little mini workshop experience yourself with it before you take it to the next step.
It didn't fit, none of Muppets felt like a challenge.
Absolutely.
It was so brilliant to work on. It was absolute joy.
Yeah.
They were, I don't think I could call anything a challenge.
It was one of
Muppets.
our favorite jobs.
Yeah.
If you had to pick a challenge, it would just be that there was so much that we were creating and dealing with, involving, casting, that very often on any given day we could be one of us on one set, one on another set. At the same time, we were rehearsing something else maybe midday, whilst we were also working on casting something for a month ahead. And so you'd have lots of balls in the air on a single day.
With theatre, you start at 10 o'clock in the morning and you rehearse till 6 or 9, and you more or less know what you're going to be doing during the day, and at the end of the day you see the product. You don't get that with film. You don't see the end result until months down the line, sometimes years.
You just don't have, generally, even within film, when you have a fair amount of rehearsal time, it's a fundamentally different kind of rehearsal time, and very concentrated and in short bursts sometimes, and certainly not always, in terms of days consecutive.
I think I've become a better choreographer in the theatre because I've been working on film, because understanding not just the foreground but the background, and turning movement into the narrative.
I think if I would say to my younger self and to anybody that to absolutely believe that you can have a career in the industry. You know, it can seem like something that is, you know, so distant and so difficult and so impossible, but it is possible, you know.
And everyone's journey is different.
Yes.
You know, and keep working, even, you know, whatever it is, whether it's in the theatre, in a drama school, just keep working. I'm doing, or we're doing, a theatre show called Once, an Irish piece.
So it's nice to have that mix when you're going back and forth, and well, and in terms of what's coming out to public, we also have we're very excited, the first teaser trailer of the most recent Tim Burton Disney feature, the reimagining of Dumbo. That teaser trailer's just come out, and we're very excited.